Hey everybody, welcome to Example of Play. I'm Joe. This video is going to be the start of a new Let's Learn series for X4 Foundations. So if you clicked on the video, you're here because you want to learn how to play the game. You don't need me to tell you what it is, so we'll skip past that and we'll get right into it. This is a game I've wanted to learn to play for a long time. I've had it for a long time. I've dabbled with it. I love the idea of it, but I've never committed the time to really learn it. That's what we're going to do in this series. We are going to play through it. I call it a let's learn because I'm learning the game. I'm kind of just one step ahead of you as we go through here. And so this isn't a guide that's going to be how to be optimal to build your space empire right from the get-go. This is going to be start at the beginning, what you'll experience as you learn the game, and try to take it one step at a time. Help you get to where you can play the game, get past that initial stage and that initial learning curve and get into it. So let's get started. Okay, so to start things off, there are some tutorials here. My goal, of course, with these videos is to teach you most all of this stuff kind of naturally through playing the game. But if there's a certain topic you want to learn about, these intermediate tutorials are great. You can just jump in, learn about that particular topic, and then jump back to the game. The basic tutorials up here, you should definitely do right off the bat because these are going to teach you the essentials of how to control your ship, how to dock, how to travel around. So you want to do those for sure. And then there's some advanced ones as well that we won't worry about for now, like building a space station. We're at how to fly around and do a single mission. We're not worried about building a whole space station. But you can watch all these whenever you choose to, but I wouldn't do them all at once because it's kind of too much stuff to try to take on all at once. There's also down here a combat scenario if you just want to blow some stuff up. That one's pretty good. It just kind of throws you into a big battle. Then there's also timelines here. I don't have this DLC. These are kind of more linear, kind of like a linear campaign versus the sandbox. I've seen mixed things on them. The game recommends them for new players. It kind of makes sense to give you sort of a linear story to follow along with, but I just don't have that DLC. But the meat of the game, of course, is the open universe. And there are quite a few starts. Depends on if you have the DLC, you can pick these other starts. But really, in the long run, it doesn't matter too much which start you take. You can basically, from my understanding, you can basically do all of the content or 99% of the content in the game, regardless of which start you choose. It's just going to decide like what ship you have at the beginning, what your reputation is, where in the universe you start. You can also do a custom start if none of these appeal to you. But for today, we're going to do the Untested Explorer. I've heard that the Terran Cadet start is really good. So if you have the Cradle of Humanity DLC, it's a good one for new players because it kind of forces you to interact with most of the game systems through a little bit longer kind of opening story quest line versus some of the other ones. But I'm going to do Untested Explorer from the base game because I don't expect you to have the DLC to follow along with this video series. So I'm going to load that up and I'll meet you in the game. All right, so now we are in the game. It'll look something like this for you. We're in our spaceship. We're out in space near a space station. If we look around, there's some stuff out there. There's a big planet. We see some other space stations in the distance that we can click on, maybe travel to. But the one thing we don't have is anything telling us what to do, probably, depending on your start. You might get some information immediately, but for this one, yeah, the game doesn't tell you do anything. You're just here. You're just in space. And so you have kind of a starting scenario, a little flavor text, but really that's pretty much it. And then at some point you might get some story stuff pop up, but here at the beginning, nothing. So that's kind of the initial hurdle of this game is like, okay, what do I do? I'm here. So again, I'm going to assume you do the basic tutorials on your own, so I'm not going to necessarily explain all the basic controls, but we'll mention stuff here as we go. Main thing is, yeah, you can click and hold with your left mouse, and I'm assuming, I think I still have all the controls on default or close to it, but yeah, hold down left mouse, steer your ship around, do your mouse wheel to, you can back up, you can push forward to increase your thrust, and then this little thing right here tells you what your thrust's at, how fast you're moving, and then the arrow kind of what you're set to versus what your actual speed is. I have it, I think the default is the tilde key, will bring you to a full stop, which is handy because it stops all your direction, all your movement in all three dimensions, brings you to a whole stop. You can hold down tab to do like your afterburner. Whenever you do that, you see this blue bar will go down, so that's like you're burning up your afterburner, and then you let off and it'll recharge slowly. So you can do that to go really fast, but you'll notice whenever you go really fast, your ship is a little slower to turn around. You can do the fancy flying stuff where you kind of turn off the kind of Star Wars physics of flying through space, and do more like Battlestar Galactica style flying through space. But that can get a little tricky. You can really disorientate yourself. So the default is that that's turned off. Anyway, that's that, and then you can hold down Shift Space to switch modes to where you're kind of constantly steering. And so this can be good in combat. I find this useful because you can control your ship without having to hold down the mouse button. But the other, I forget what the two modes are called, but the default mode is good for whenever you're not in combat, because you can kind of like click on stuff and do things without your ship moving around. Then the most important part, everyone of course wants to know, how do you shoot your guns? You can see over here we got some weapons selected, and we can hit space to shoot, and we see our shots going out. We can also click middle mouse button, click, and you'll shoot at where your cursor is, which can be handy sometimes. And then when we get into actual combat, we'll see that the basic combat is pretty straightforward. We don't have any special weapons. This is the exploration ship, so it has just a couple kind of regular guns, nothing fancy. But we'll do that whenever we get there. Right here, we're gonna answer the question next of what should I do? And deciding what to do first is a great question. Actually, I've messed around with the game for a minute trying to decide what would be the best thing to cover first, because that is the big question at the beginning. I think what we'll do is we'll do a little exploring. We'll kind of cover our initial sector here, and we'll find maybe a side mission or two to do and see what else we run into. So that'll get us a little money, get us a little experience, kind of actively doing some stuff, making some progress. So if we hit M, bring up our map, and we can see that we actually can't see very much at all. At the beginning of the game, you really don't know what's out there. You can see this little area around us, where this little green dot right there. The blue means that they're neutral to us. If we saw anything that was pink, it would mean that they're kind of unfriendly, they don't like us. And if they were like red or hostile red, that means that they would attack you on sight. But fortunately, no bad guys right here at the beginning. This is real time, so like we can see this ship out here flying. We can click on it. We can right click on it to do a little interacting with it. And if we zoom out, we can see, okay, this whole sector we started in is Sacred Relic, where the explorers start. And if we zoom out some more, we are aware of some other sectors. But if we zoomed in, say here, we actually don't really know what's there exactly. Or like here, we can just see the name of it. We can kind of see like where the jump gates are, but that's really it. We can't see where the space stations are, what ships are there, anything like that. We will cover later how to set up some satellites so we can see things in real time across places we're not currently at. But for now, we're just us. We just got our one ship. And so how should we begin? Let's do a little exploring. Let's do a long range scan and see what's out there in our starting system. So if we go back to our ship and we'll point it out here, you can see we're kind of pointed towards the middle. And if we look, we can see like there's some stations out there. We could just fly to them and get there, but we'll do a scan to kind of reveal them on our map a little bit. So if you did the tutorials, you should know this, but we'll cover it real quick. You can hit enter to get this ship control thing here where we can change modes. So there's travel mode to go really fast. There's scan mode to scan things up close, and then long range scan mode to kind of do long range scanning. You can click it there, but it's way easier to me to just hit Shift 1, 2, 3 to do those same modes. We'll hit Shift 3, and now we're in long range scan mode. And then to actually do the scan, you have to hit your secondary fire button. So it'll be, I have it set to one of my thumb mouse buttons, but you can also do, I think the defaults are. And it's kind of weird, like you hold it down and you'll see this thing, and then you let go before it gets all the way in the middle. If you hold it too long, nothing will happen. You have to kind of hold it for like about 2 seconds, and then that's how you do it. And then you'll see that energy go out into space. And if we look at our map, now we have some question marks. So these are the things that it picked up. Still doesn't know what is out there. It just knows there are some stations there. So we can fly to, we can select those now. We can right click on it, say start guidance, or let's just for fun, we'll hit information, and we can see that, we don't know anything about it. But if we right click start guidance, now we can see, all right, we've got this one selected right in front of us. We could fly to it, or we can hit Shift A to turn on autopilot, and it'll just fly us there. And we can do that. We can, if you have autopilot on, you can look at the map while you're doing that. You can also hold down right click on here and you can rotate so you can see things in 3D, which can be useful sometimes. Stuff can be higher or lower than the primary plane and be a little further away than you think. And then if you're in travel mode and you go to the map normally, your ship will stop. So I guess it doesn't want you to crash into something. But if you're in autopilot, you can come to your map screen and mess around with stuff. So now that we're here, we've flown, and now we can see that we've got a little closer. That this is a medical supply factory. We can right click on it to stop the guidance since we're here. We could see what they have for trade. We can see like what kind of things they're buying, selling. We're not gonna worry about that right now though. And then we could request a dock with them if you wanted to. But I just want to show you how to do that long range scan. And then now we can also see a little bit more of the space around us. And then we can see there's like this fog of war here where close to our ship we can see in real time, but like this ship as it flies to the edge of our kind of clear space that we can see. We've been here before, but now we can't see what's going on there anymore because we've flown away from it. All right, so now I jumped ahead a little bit. I was exploring the system. I would encourage you to just jump around your system a little bit, find the different stations, see how they all sell different stuff. I think your layout will be a little different every time you start. So that's kind of one of the fun things of the game, is that it's the same but a little different every time. So fly around a bit, see what's out there, and then let's see, we got a mission here. Let's see if this is a mission that we can take on, find a way to make some money. All right, so I jumped ahead a couple minutes here. I recommend that you fly around your sector a little bit, explore those stations, do your long range scan a few times just to see what's out there, and then look for a station that has a little yellow icon next to it. That's going to tell you it has a side mission, like a contract available. And then come to your map screen. So the map screen is for navigating around. You can look at this, I don't think I mentioned yet, this object list is handy because it shows you basically what you're looking at. If you zoom out more, there's more stuff. You zoom in, it's just going to tell you what's on the screen right now. So that's pretty handy for kind of finding exactly what you're looking at. And then if you click that, it's got your property that you have, which we don't have anything but our ship right now. And then if you come down here to mission offers, this is what we're going to look for, a way to make some money, because we start with 5,000 credits. That's not going to get us very far. So look for a mission. It'll tell you kind of the difficulty. There's very easy. I wouldn't start with anything more than that because they do get pretty tough really fast. And then let's say this one seems pretty good. So some medical supplies, a pilot got destroyed en route or got shot down en route, how to eject. So some of the stuff is still out there. So this is a nice starting mission for us to go find some stuff, bring it back. And this will be a little exploring, a little more using the scanner, so that's good. So we'll accept that. It pays 50,000 credits. Pretty nice to get us started. In the grand scheme, nothing, but for us, a nice start. And then after we accept it, we can see that is the area we need to go search in. So we can fly there. It'll automatically mark it, and we can hit Shift A. I can't remember if I said that. Shift A turns on your autopilot. That'll fly us there. And then there are other types of missions that might pop up, but this is kind of a nice, easy starter. So we'll fly over there. I'll pause for a second, and then when we get there, we'll talk some more. All right, so I'm here now. I flew over, but notice that there's no lockbox sitting here waiting for me because it's saying it's somewhere in this circle that we're looking for this thing. Actually, I guess we're looking for 2 lockboxes of supplies. And if we open this up, we can actually look at this briefing, give you a little more detail. Pretty straightforward for this one. We need to find the lockbox, get the items, deliver the items. Which seems pretty straightforward. There is a little trick, little nuance to it that I'll show whenever we get to it. But it doesn't tell you, hey, how do I find that lockbox? Because I'm here, it's not here, what do I do? So we need to scan for it. So we'll turn on our long range scanner again, Shift 3, and then hold down secondary fire. You fire it off, and we'll listen. So you'll hear little jingles. That whenever it's detecting stuff, but what we're listening for is a different sound. We didn't hear it there, so we'll turn the other way. See if we find it. Still elusive. Oh, there you go. All right, so that's what we're listening for. Okay, so we have this yellow. That's what we're looking for. Now, sometimes if it's close enough, you might automatically target it, but this time it did not. Oops, I held it too long that time. Alright, so it's not going to detect it for us, it's not going to make it easy for us, but we are detecting something out there. So we're going to fly to it. This can be a little tricky. I've done it sometimes where it's easy and it does kind of target it and take you right there, and sometimes you have to be a little more manual, hands-on, and fly to it. Now the thing is, it goes away, and we can't do the long-range scan while we're traveling through space, so we're just going to kind of guesstimate it here. There it is. Alright, so we're going to stop. We did detect it, so that's nice. Now we're locked on. So hit that tilde key to come to a dead stop, and then we can just autopilot back to it. Since it's really tiny, it's kind of hard to judge how fast you need to go. And then we're going to fly back to it. Alright, and it's going to park us right in front of it. Now the trick is, the game doesn't tell you, hey, how do I open this thing? You right click on it, it doesn't give you any options. We're already guided to it. If we shoot it, don't shoot it. It will be destroyed and will fail the mission, so don't do that. The trick is that we are actually supposed to not crash into it either, to shoot these red locks off of it, which, depending on how fast it's spinning, can be kind of tricky or really easy. This one's spinning a little bit. I've done it once where it was spinning really fast and it was not easy. If you have the hand laser, you can actually get out of your ship and like go over to it in your spacesuit and shoot them off very carefully. But what we're going to do is shoot them with our spaceship lasers, or whatever they are, very carefully, because basically like 2 hits on this thing will destroy it. So we don't want to do that. We want to just pick off. This one's got 4 locks on it, so we need to hit all 4 of these locks and blast them off of there. So let's do that. All right, now I'll be honest, I quick saved right there because I didn't want to be embarrassed if I mess this up and blow up the box and have to start over. So the trick to this is that we're going to shoot those locks off of there. And how you can do that without very precisely is by manually aiming, or seeing that if we click on it to lock onto it, now you see these little white dots next to the cursor. Those are where the rounds are going to actually hit, the little white dot. On the video, it might be hard to see, but when you're playing, you should be able to see it. And if you're not locked onto it, they're hard to see because they're like tiny. They're right together on the cursor, like they're going to hit together way off in space. But if we lock on, because this is so close, we see the little white dots like on it where we're aiming with the cursor. And so if we do the middle mouse, it's going to shoot at those dots rather than the auto aiming directly at it. So I'm going to put it like right here. You see the little white dot on the red. Actually, let's do it right there. Right, white dot. Boom. All right, so we shot that lock off. Now it's that one, that one, that one, and that one. Did it. And now we see the item we need popped out. And oh, getting some dialogue there. So we're picking up the quest line for the explorer, which is kind of calling the Society of Explorers or the Guild, whatever it is, to go off and take part in this mission, which we might do that later, but right now we're not worried about that just yet. But of course, feel free if you want to go do that. Container. Now this container popped out here, so we'll just fly up to it, and at the beginning at least, you just fly into stuff to pick it up. I think you get tractor beams later. I might be wrong about that. Don't quote me on it. All right, so there we go. We got the first of 2 things, but that should teach you kind of how to do these lockbox ones, because the first time I did it, I had no idea what I was supposed to do. I shot the box and blew it up and failed the mission. So that is how you do that without blowing up the lockbox. We'll pause for a second and we'll go find the other one, and then we'll go turn in the mission.
Empty space. Empty space.
Oh, jumping in here real quick. So I did a scan here where I actually picked up a random container out there. So uh, if you scan, listen to the sounds, you'll hear kind of the regular sounds and then a little bit different jingle. And it'll pop up gold if it's the mission related one we're looking for. But then it's possible you hear a different sound and jingle. Oh, now there's another one. You could see a blue circle, and those are going to be just kind of like random loot boxes out in space, block boxes, but basically loot boxes. And so you can actually go find those too and get some free stuff from them. And you can find some pretty good stuff in there too sometimes. So if you're just kind of popping around exploring and you see one of those, don't be afraid to fly to it. Though, do be aware, sometimes there could be enemies there. So far, this area is pretty safe, but when I was just testing things out and exploring, I actually did run into some trouble the first time I did this. I ran into some very hostile alien ships that I had to fight just to find my little treasure chest. Okay. And then we'll just keep flying towards this till we actually get to it and pick up that box. I just want to make sure I'm still on course to it. And then, okay, I just want to pop in and just let you know that if you see those blue circles, and then the difference between that and the yellow circles. All right, so now I found the other box, looted the stuff, and now I've got everything I need to return the quest. So it automatically goes to, all right, we need to go dock at this advanced electronics factory. So we'll just fly over there to finish this mission out. But we'll need to go actually dock there and turn it in, so we'll do that. It's pretty far away, so I'll pause again and save us some time getting there. Alright, so we're arriving here at the station. Now, of course, if you did the tutorial, you know how to do this, but just for funsies, I'll show you how to actually dock, because we need to go there to deliver the stuff. So we're going to right-click on it, and we're going to select... This is right on the docking bay, but you can also select just the station. Right-click, and you can do request docking permission, or Shift-D. And then after you do that, generally speaking, they're going to always give you permission. There might be some times when they don't, but we see the little green lights come on, tell us where we want to go. You can get modules later to upgrade your ship with like auto docking to make this easier, but at the beginning of the game, you got to do it the hard way and fly in manually. So I'll show it once here just because it is a little tricky. So we're just going to follow those lights in till we get to the docking area, and just watch out because you'll see that there's other traffic there, other ships flying around. And then we're landing on docking bay 4 here. And then now as we get closer, it'll force us to slow down. And basically we want to match up to this little diagram that pops up. And we just want to, you can also hit F2 to get outside view of the ship, make it a little bit easier sometimes. And just kind of remember which way you're going. And then oops, right there. So now we see we're on it. You just got to think in all 3 dimensions here. And then come in park. And then once you get close enough, it'll take over. But like I said, I think you can get a module later that makes docking more automated, so that's handy. Alright, so we've docked. Now we just need to go find and deliver. Now for this one, I think we have to actually get up and go deliver this in person. Someone put in the comments if you know a different way to do it. I couldn't find another way to deliver the stuff other than actually getting up. So get up out of your seat and then follow the little line, and we'll go down here and actually find the guy who gave us the quest to hand over the goods. At least it highlights for us that we're going to this private apartment. And we're getting a nice immersion of we're actually going and handing off this stuff. So here's our guy, this one. Him on co-set, or however you want to say that. And then we're going to deliver the goods, deliver all the items. So bandages, needles, sedatives that we recovered from space and brought back. So now we've completed the mission. And we see down in the bottom left that we now gained 50,000 credits. We go check it out here. Yeah, now we have 55,000 credits from 10 times as much as we started with, or 11 times as much really. So not too shabby at all for a little mission out into space. Ooh, we got lost. Borders all look the same. And then to finish the video off, I'm thinking maybe we'll buy something just for fun. Let's head back up to the ship. She looks pretty nice from this side. I like how you can actually get out and walk around because it really lets you see kind of the scale of even this little starting scout ship is humongous.
Discoverer, Vanguard.
Get back in our seat, and then we'll look at trade, see if there's anything here that we might want to buy. Alright, so this is the trading screen, which to me is a little unintuitive, so I had to kind of play around with it for a minute to make sure I remembered how it all worked. But anytime you're in a station, you can bring up the trade screen, and then you'll see a list of goods here. These are the things that this station wants to buy or sell. This station only sells one thing, so you see everything's grayed out because we don't have those. That's because these are only things they want to buy, and this one's lit up because it's something they want to sell, so we can actually select it. If you come over here, you can kind of see the things they want to buy and sell. So this is not the price, this is the quantity of that good that's available, or that they want to sell, or the quantity that they would be willing to buy. So they only want like 13 drone components, so they sell for a lot, but say you had 100, they only want to buy 13. But they're willing to sell a whole bunch of advanced electronics. This number will change over time as they make more, because this is the factory where they make them. So that number will go up over time, and then if you or an NPC comes along and buys them, it goes down, and then over time it'll go back up again. The reason that's important is because the economy in X4 is like an actual real dynamic economy. It's not just abstracted away. There's actually like goods being delivered here that get turned into the electronics that then get picked up and taken somewhere else to make other things. And so there's actually like real supply chains going on. And then as you play further into the game, a big part of the game for a lot of people is to become part of that economy. Like you could build your own advanced electronics factory later, and then you could supply it with this other stuff or buy it off the market. But for right now, we're just going to keep it simple. We're just looking at, let's say we did want to buy an advanced electronics. What's the price? So the price is over here in this column. And then there's green and yellow. And that just kind of tells you like the demand is high, makes it green, or the demand is low, makes it yellow. But really what we're interested in is the price being higher or lower than average. So if we hover over it, we can see the electronics, they're only 1.3% off their normal price because the supply is a little bit low. If we waited around long enough and they made more, the price would probably go down. But if someone came along and bought 300 of them, then the price would go back up. So you can kind of look at that. I'm not sure if that average price it's talking about, if that's like this station's average price, or if there's like a global average price for these things. If you know, maybe drop it in the comments. But it gives you an idea of, is this a good price or not, or is now a bad time to sell because they just got a whole shipment came in. While I was sitting here messing around with it, there was actually, I think there was another item on here that went away when like a big giant cargo ship landed over there. So like as I was sitting here, someone came along and sold them a bunch of whatever it was, and it actually dropped off the list. So that could happen too. Or at least it went to, this number disappeared, so like they weren't buying it. Maybe it came back. Anyway, so let's say you did want to buy something and you said, okay, I want to buy one of these advanced electronics. This thing here in the middle is how you kind of slide it one way or the other. This is your ship. This is how many you have, which is 0 for everything since we haven't picked up anything. Let's say we wanted to buy one. You could just click that little arrow, or you could slide this over and you can see we're buying more. And then we see over here, this fills up because that is our cargo space. So each one of these is 30 cubic meters. We can only actually haul 18. Even if we had the money to buy more, we can't haul more than that. And then let's say we just wanted to buy one just for demonstration purposes, and we can see over here, all right, it's going to cost us 1,026 to buy one, and then we just click confirm, and we see this number goes down if you move that back and forth. So that's telling you they only have so many. Let's say we buy it. Now it says waiting for trade to finish, so we have to wait for them to like load it on the ship or whatever. And then it'll go away here in a second. All right, it's loaded. And then we can click ship information or shift enter to see. So this is another thing, it's a little bit unintuitive. So if you're like me, it took me a minute to dig around and figure out where this was. To see what's actually in your ship, you have to come to the map screen, which is like, why is it here? Because you have like your player information, which is where you have your inventory, or if you hit shift I to bring up your inventory, it's this. But this is your player inventory, which right now we don't actually have anything. We had like those quest items, but they're gone now. That's like little stuff that you're like carrying with you. To see what's in a ship, you actually come to the map screen, and you could select other things. Like we don't know what like this factory has. We can't see in it because we don't have good reputation with them. But if we select our ship or hit shift enter, now we see our ship, and we can see down here it's hauling one electronics, or one advanced electronics down here, and how much cargo space. So if it had other stuff, we could see it there. I think it's a little counterintuitive because most games you're thinking about like your ship being the only ship, where in X4 eventually you could have dozens of ships and each one has its inventory, and then you could come here to like see those. So like under property owned, you could have several ships and you could select it and go to right click on it, information. So like you could have a different ship somewhere else and you could look at it and see what's in its cargo hold from a distance. So that's why I think it's kind of like a little gap there to understand like, why is this on the map screen and here instead of being like in my inventory. But anyway, that is how to do a trade. One other point, whenever we get to a different video, we'll talk about like these prices. You can only see them in real time when you're near the station. Like if we look on the map, I might zoom this all the way over there. We can actually only see like real-time prices for the stations that we're close to. Like we could check like this station and we can see what's going on there, and we have that information. But if you fly away from the station and it's in the fog of war, then like you can still see the prices here, but I think my understanding is like these are not up to date. These are just like the last known prices. And so like if you were thinking, oh, I'm gonna buy some stuff and haul it over here somewhere to a station to sell it, you wouldn't necessarily know like what the real-time going rate is, like how many do they actually want right now, unless you got a satellite and you could drop those satellites off nearby stations that you're interested in, or like big trading hubs, and you could see that data all the time, like in real time. So that could be handy. And then there's other things, there's like trade licenses where you can see that too. There's some other stuff like it later in the game we'll get to, but that's how to do a basic trade. All right, so I think that's about enough for this first intro video. We talked about some basic controls. We talked about how to explore a little bit, find other things in our starting sector, how to get our first little mission and complete it, especially the lockbox thing, which doesn't really explain to you how you're supposed to do that. So we got our first lockbox mission, did it, made some money, and then went and bought something with that money. Next video, we will go do something else. We'll keep exploring and learning more about the game. I hope if you are like me and you want to learn how to play X4 some more, be sure to hit subscribe, hit like on the video if you found it useful. And I anticipate this series to go on for a little bit and cover the majority of what you can do in the game over time, but I might not do it like all the videos in a row. It'll be kind of spread out over time, but stick around, hit subscribe, and see some more videos about X4 and how to go out there and conquer the universe for yourself. See you next time. Bye.